What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Full of Hell, entitled Weeping Choir. This is released on Relapse Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of both Maryland and Pennsylvania, and honestly, this is a band that incorporates so many different musical styles and soundscapes into their music. Hardcore, punk, death metal, grindcore, power violence, black metal, harsh noise, power electronics. I mean, you can pretty much name it, and this band has pretty much already delved deep into it and tried it and been even more experimental than that. It has been a true roller coaster ride to see this band go from where they were then to where they are now, and I think it is absolutely insane to see how far this band has flourished. Of course, this is a band that in recent years has climbed towards favorite band status for me over the years. I mean, seeing this band in a basement with Code Orange kids in Gaza many years ago, to seeing them be on even bigger tours and work with more notable name artists, it's just insane. I mean, let's get this out of the way here. I fucking love this band. I love this band. I love them as people. I love them as musicians. These guys work so fucking hard, and I'm so very proud of them. I mean, going from their first debut 7-inch to full lengths like Roots of Earth Are Consuming My Home to Rudiments of Mutilation, to them getting more deeper into their musical stylings with collaborations with Myrrh's Bow, The Body, and then of course in 2017 this band put out what I consider to be my favorite album of that year with Trumpeting Ecstasy. Pretty much them continuing their forward-thinking sound to become even more experimental, more crazy, more chaotic, and just overall making a huge impact with their sound. But yeah, moving towards now with Weeping Choir, this is their fourth full-length album, and this is their first one with Relapse Records. Of course, when I found out the news that they were signing to Relapse Records, I was very excited, and I was also very curious to see how things were going to play out and work out, and how we were going to be able to find out what the next step in direction for Full of Hell was going to be. And of course, we got that little idea of sound with the first song released from this album in the form of Burning Myrrh. Of course, with the guitar riffs, the blast beats, Dylan's vocal stylings, just the overall brilliance of that song got me really hyped up and excited to see and hear how things were going to work out for the rest of this album. And in typical fashion here, I have a little bit of a surprise for y'all. I'm going to be talking to you about it here, and I would say this is pretty much an exclusive here to talk to you about here now with this new full-length from Full of Hell entitled Weeping Choir. This is their fourth full-length album. It's 11 tracks, and it clocks in at around 24 minutes in length, and pretty much what you got from Trumpeting Ecstasy is a pale comparison to what you're going to find here with Weeping Choir, because I think this band continues to push the envelope further in terms of music, songwriting, creativity, depth, and just overall pure emotion and passion, because you're going to find a lot of that here throughout Weeping Choir. And I think that in turn, I would consider this to be another classic in this band's already formidable discography. I mean, musically, it's what you would normally expect out of Full of Hell, but done in a lot more contemporary grace and passion. It's just really sensational to hear these guitar riffs sound as sick as they do here. I mean, going further throughout this album with songs like Thundering Hammers and Aria of Jeweled Tears, you already get a lot of the death metal and hardcore power violence influences throughout some of these guitar riffs. It's just insane hearing Spencer play the guitar the way that he does and manipulate things the way he knows how to. It's just genius work throughout this record, even to some of the more darker, lengthier sort of tracks on here, like on the track Armory of Obsidian Glass. That is a great song, and easily one of the best songs of 2019 in my opinion. Just the tone, the grit of his guitar riffs sounds so amazing. I really love that about that song. But then you get to a song like Silmaril, probably saying that wrong, but whatever. But yeah, I love the riffs on that song. I get that sort of tupa tupa vibe going with those riffs, and I think it's really killer. And then going back to Aria of Jeweled Tears, you get a lot more of that heavy hardcore and power violence sort of influence in those riffs. It's just really, really good. The bass work on here is very awesome. I believe this is the second record to feature Sam on the bass work, and I think he's been holding his own very steadily throughout his time in Full of Hell, and for him playing the bass guitar as well as he does, it sounds really good. I really appreciate his bass playing efforts, just the tone, and the fact that everything matches up nicely to Spencer's guitar playing. It's really, really great. When it comes to the drums, if you know Dave Bland, if you've ever seen him play live, if you've ever heard his drumming style, it is just one in a million. It is an insane drum performance, and I appreciate the fact that he can go from really fast to chaotic to more slower to mid-paced. It's just insane. I love his drumming style. The first half of this album is just killer, but then, of course, when you get to Armory of Obsidian Glass, you get that slow sort of mid-paced drum style, and I think it works very well on that song. Even some of the more lengthier, more relaxed sort of moments of this record, you think you're going to get a break, but you get thrown right back into hellfire and craziness with his drum performance and style, and I think it's really killer. And of course, you can't have a Full of Hell record without some noise and power electronics and manipulations, and you get all of those in great spades here with this record. Like on the track Rainbow Coil, I think it's a really, really great song that incorporates the noise aspects of Full of Hell very nicely. Very well incorporated and very well done. And I think on tracks like Angels Gather Here and Igramul the Many, you get those little bits and pieces of noise and stuff thrown in on those tracks, and I think it's really awesome. I love when Full of Hell incorporates noise into their songs, and I think they're continuing to push boundaries with their style of bringing noise into their extreme music. And when it comes to the vocals, it's the typical Full of Hell vocal style. Dylan knows exactly what he's doing here. Whether it's low-ranged guttural growls to high-pitched, screechy sort of screams, he delivers the goods here, and he is on fire here with his vocal performance. It is very awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple of guest spots on this album that are quite notable. I believe the guy from Hatred Surge is on the track Burning Myrrh, which I think is really nice. On the track Armory of Obsidian Glass, you have Lingua Ignota doing some vocal work on some parts of that song, and of course her vocal style is very distinctive and haunting. I really think her vocal inclusions on this record are really nice. And I want to say there's a guest spot on the track Downward. I'm probably wrong here, but I'm going to go off of my limb and guess that's probably Jake Bannon from Converge. I think it sounds like him, but if it's not him, please correct me. I know that they worked with Kurt Ballou as far as like mixing and producing this record, and I think I should also mention that Kurt Ballou did an amazing job with this production job. But yeah, I think that sounds like Jacob Bannon on that one song. But as far as Dylan's vocals are concerned, it's fantastic. He has gotten way better in time as far as his growls and as far as his screams are concerned, and I think it's an amazing vocal performance. So overall, this is definitely another great highlight in Full of Hell's discography. I wouldn't know where to place it amongst probably the best of Full of Hell's work. It's going to be hard for me to decide because this is an album that is worth the repeated listens over and over again. I think this is a fantastic album. If you are a Full of Hell fan, if you have been into this band's body of work, you're going to find something special here with Weeping Choir. I definitely would consider this to be one of the best albums of 2019. But then again, of course, this is a band that I have been loving and loving more and more year after year, and I want to see how far this band continues to grow and to flourish. It is just phenomenal. So definitely pre-order this when this album comes out, and you will not be disappointed. So if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Burning Myrrh, Thundering Hammers, Aria of Jeweled Tears, Aria of Jeweled Tears, Armory of Obsidian Glass, Silmaril, and Angels Gather here. Just some seriously great songs going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link in the description to the YouTube music video for Burning Myrrh, which I believe Dylan and a couple of friends shot himself, and I think it is a great music video. You should definitely watch it. And I will also leave you a link to where you can purchase physical pre-orders. To the best of my knowledge, this album is available physically as a CD, 12-inch vinyl, and tape. This album has been selling very strongly. I believe one of the very first presses sold out of this album, so they made another one around the time of the pre-order. There are multiple variants, exclusive variants in the US and internationally, so there are more than one ways to get a hold of this record. I definitely made my own pre-orders, and of course this band will be doing a set of tour dates with Primitive Man and Genocide Pact. I believe they will also be playing Austin Terrorfest in June, which I will also be announcing that I will be a part of that. I will be attending some of the days of that fest, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play live, in addition to getting to see a lot of other great bands and people. So again, the album is Weeping Choir by Full of Hell. This is set to be released officially on May 17th of 2019. Definitely pick this one up. It is mandatory purchasing, and for a score, I'm going to give this the highest score I can possibly give, and that is a perfect 10 out of 10. Fantastic Full of Hell record. These guys continuously strive to get better and stronger with time, and I am looking forward to their next eventual step in evolution. So definitely pick this up and pre-order it, and I look forward to sharing your thoughts when this album comes out officially, so we can all talk about it together. So I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Hell out.